In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace be upon you. It's the 29th of July, Tuesday night in Pakistan, and among today's most important news, the first headline is, "A father is enough." This is what Imran Khan said from Adiala jail today. He was not allowed to meet his sisters in Adiala jail. A lawyer met him, and some people there asked him questions. As you know, during the trials, journalists are present, and Chaudhry Nizamuddin Sahib sends in people of his own choosing. He was asked whether his sons would come to Pakistan and lead the political protest happening on the 5th of August. His response was that a father alone is enough to organize or lead the protest. But this news was twisted and, you could say, run on Pakistan's television channels at Chaudhry Sahib's behest. And what did they run? That Imran Khan had forbidden his sons from coming to Pakistan, which was a complete lie. He never said anything at all about whether they should come to Pakistan or not. He only spoke about their political role. We all know, and you all know, that Imran Khan does not operate the party as a family limited or private limited company, like the PMLN and the People's Party. Just yesterday, the governor of Punjab said that the late Miss Benazir Bhutto had, in her will, handed over the party to Asif Ali Zardari. Now, obviously, if the party was inherited by Mr. Asif Ali Zardari through a will, and he in turn passes it on to his children through the same will, then in that sense, the party is no longer a political entity, but has become like a piece of land or some material possession that you are transferring to your children as an inheritance. Now, Mr. Nawaz Sharif is doing the same thing, and that's what's happening. Take Ahmad Wali Khan, or look at Maulana Fazlur Rahman's party, or even Tehreek-e-Labbaik, whichever party or group you look at. They all believe that only their own children are capable of leading the party. They don't even consider that anyone other than their children could have been given the ability, intelligence, or competence by God to lead their party or the party they've been a part of, except for Jamaat-e-Islami. And here I'm talking about the leadership, not the workers. The leadership, as always, does exactly what the Pakistani military generals want from them, and often makes hypocritical decisions at the crucial moment. The leadership is quite disappointing. But if you look at their workers in general, they tend to be quite honest. I'm not talking about everyone, but many of their workers are good people. However, the leadership at the top does not live up to their expectation. But at least it's not a family limited business there, at least. Right now, we don't see that happening, but in almost all the other major parties, that's exactly what we see happening. Imran Khan does not do this, nor does he want to. His sons have no political role, nor in the future are they meant to become the heirs or caretakers of his political legacy. That's why he made it very clear today that since they are not in politics, their father is, and the father alone is enough to lead the protest. But Chaudhry Sahib twisted this and broadcasted on television that Imran Khan has forbidden his sons from coming to Pakistan. This news is also false, because for the past 7 months, Imran Khan has not been allowed to speak to his children. It's been almost 7 to 8 months, and he has complained about this multiple times, expressed his views on it several times, and not only that, he has also approached the courts regarding this. The courts have already issued their directions, but even so, Imran Khan is still not allowed to speak to his children. Now, for this very reason, the children ultimately want to come to Pakistan, because they feel that if they go to Pakistan, even if they can't talk to their father on the phone, maybe they can meet him in person there. On this, Rana Sanallah said today that if Imran Khan's sons come to Pakistan, they have the right to meet him. But if they engage in politics, then we will arrest them and put them in jail. This is the same Rana Sanallah who from day one said that if they come to Pakistan, they will be arrested and put in jail. That was his real intention, and that was his actual wish. Afterward, because there was a very negative response from the public and the media, Rana Sahib realized that he had said something wrong, and several people from the PMLN, like Siddiqui Sahib, who is a senator from PMLN, Irfan Siddiqui, also distanced himself from this statement. So now, Rana Sanallah is trying to give a slightly more balanced statement, saying that if they only come to meet, it is their right and they should be allowed to meet. So, on one hand, Imran Khan's statement was misrepresented. And on the other hand, as I said, it's being said that if they come, and then as you know, this regime can decide at any moment on its own that if 100 people go to jail with Imran Khan's sons, or 10,000 or 50,000, then they will say that this is political activity, and for that reason they will arrest them and put them in jail. So obviously all these things inside them come out under such pressure when they don't know how to handle matters. Besides this, what else happened today? Today, as I mentioned earlier, in a deeply concerning and inhumane development, it has come to light that Imran Khan's sisters were subjected to an appalling act of cruelty being deliberately given dirty, unhygienic, and potentially harmful water to drink. This was not merely an oversight, but a calculated act designed to inflict distress and discomfort upon them. Furthermore, the disturbing pattern of mistreatment continues, as it has now been unequivocally revealed that the water provided within Bushra Bibi's cell is also being intentionally rendered extremely filthy, unsanitary, and heavily contaminated before it is presented to her. This deliberate act of poisoning her water supply is a grave violation of basic human rights and a clear attempt to undermine her health and well-being. The insidious purpose behind these deplorable actions, both against Imran Khan's sisters and Bushra Bibi, is to exert immense psychological and physical pressure to systematically weaken their resolve and ultimately to try and break their spirit in some way, forcing them into submission or extracting concessions through such cruel and degrading treatment. This calculated deprivation of clean and safe drinking water is a barbaric tactic aimed at causing severe discomfort, potential illness, and profound psychological distress, all in an effort to achieve their nefarious object. Now, if you look at all these efforts, on one hand, there is an attempt to break Imran Khan inside the jail. On the other hand, operations have started outside as well, which I'll also talk about. Thirdly, an environment is being created like this. Remember, about 15 days ago, there was talk as if a deal was being made, negotiations were happening. But when Imran Khan said that there is no law in the country, only Qasim's law, people understood that no deal was actually taking place. Today, he has again said that right now, there is only Qasim's law in the country, and those who have stolen the mandate have been installed in power. So it has become clear to people that there is no deal of any kind happening. Today, in fact, Alima Khanum also said that anyone who tells you that Imran Khan is about to be released is actually an enemy of Imran Khan. They have no intention of releasing Imran Khan. Now, you need to remember this, and I'm saying this as viewers because your memory tends to be a bit weak. You have a weak sense of nationhood, and this includes all of us, myself as well. We forget things very quickly, and we also give up very easily. Now, you need to remember who told you this, who among the lawyers said it, who among the journalists was it, who among the politicians was it, who are bringing you falsehoods, false analyses, saying it wasn't like that. Everyone knows that Imran Khan was not going to be released in that way unless there was some major development. We, along with many others, have been telling you this from day one. So recall over the past year or year and a half who conveyed these things to you. Whoever did, it was not out of innocence. It was the military's agenda, the agenda of the military generals and a few people at the top. These news stories were delivered to you just to create a diversion in your minds according to their agenda. Anyway, today, Imran Khan expressed sorrow and grief over the operation that took place in the Tera Valley, and he said that there should not be an operation, that an operation is not the solution. He said that this will only increase the violence, lives will be lost, and this is not the right solution. He said that everyone should understand by now that all of this is being done in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to destabilize the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government there. Obviously, there is a domestic conspiracy behind this, aiming to destabilize the PTI government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Imran Khan made this very clear today. On the other hand, today Ali Amin Gandapur also held a press conference and convened a parliamentary party meeting, in which he also stated in almost clear terms that they do not allow this operation. As for this operation, Senator Mushtaq also tweeted today that it has already begun. Lives are being lost. There are also martyrs. Today, 3 of our security personnel were martyred in this operation, at least according to the information we have so far. In addition, many civilians have been injured because a curfew was imposed there and people were forbidden from leaving their homes. So bodies are also falling there, but at the same time, no one is taking responsibility for it. In this way, neither Shahbaz Sharif, the current Prime Minister, nor the federal government as a whole has adequately briefed the nation about the critical reasons why this particular operation is taking place. Furthermore, the Director General of Inter-Services Public Relations, DG ISPR, has also not come forward to provide a comprehensive briefing to the nation regarding the specific objectives of this operation, how long it is anticipated to last, or what its ultimate goals are. Only brief news tickers have been released to the media, but regrettably, no one in authority has directly faced the public or addressed this extremely sensitive and important issue with the transparency it deserves. No one has clearly explained to the citizens why we are initiating this operation at this specific time, nor has anyone articulated what is so uniquely special or different about this operation compared to previous ones, or precisely what we aim to achieve from its execution. When a government decides to conduct such significant operations, especially those with potential widespread impact, it is absolutely crucial to first take the people of the affected area and indeed the entire nation into confidence. This is because the severe consequences or the inevitable suffering that may arise later will ultimately have to be borne by the entire nation. So now, unfortunately, the operation has commenced there and civilians are tragically becoming casualties. And along with that, security personnel are obviously being martyred in the line of duty, while innocent civilians are also being martyred. This is without a doubt a very unfortunate and deeply concerning situation. The Parliamentary Committee of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has clearly stated its position, if you recall. Even before this current situation, the Administrative Committee of Tehreek-e-Insaf had previously asserted that the army should withdraw from certain areas and that such operations should not be conducted in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in this particular manner. Now, the Parliamentary Committee has all just a short while ago, when we received this important information on social media, it is also being widely claimed that the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government, through its different DCs, Deputy Commissioners, and DCOs, District Coordination Officers, has sent the highest quantity of a particular commodity before you. And obviously, the export value associated with this is also the highest recorded. And this significant export is about 11 billion and 10 crore worth of sugar that they have successfully exported. In this entire transaction, their profit margin is substantial because it is important to remember that the subsidy provided for this export was also given from your money, the taxpayers' money. On the second number is Tanlianwala Sugar Mills Limited. You all know that Harun Akhtar, the son of General Akhtar Abdul Rahman, owns it, and his other brother is also in politics. Their sugar mill has exported sugar worth 5 billion and 98 crore rupees. At number 3 is the Sharif family's Ramzan Sugar Mills, which has exported sugar worth 2 billion and 41 crore rupees. Now here you have Hamza Sugar Mills in front of you. If you look further, there is Thal Industries Corporation, which they own, and then JK Sugar Mills Private Limited. I think this JK might also belong to Jahangir Khan Tareen or perhaps someone else, but in any case, there is Hunza Sugar Mills, Ittihad Sugar Mills, Sheikhu Sugar Mills, and Rahim Yar Khan Mills Limited. So if you look at it, most of these are owned by the same families or by people associated with them. Ramzan Sugar Mills Limited is also, I believe, owned by the Sharif family. So if you see, most of these sugar mills belong to the same 3, 4 or 5 families. And when you talk to them, firstly, they will present their inherited wealth as a justification, saying we have always been billionaires. Secondly, they will give the impression that they don't need to do such things, that they already have plenty of money and have no need for such activities. Keep in mind, if these people really didn't need to do this and didn't act this way, Pakistan wouldn't be in such a dire situation today. 45% of the population is below the poverty line. Unemployment is over 22%. And on the other hand, those who do have jobs, just look at the top 3 names and you'll see that all of them are close associates of Chaudhry Sahib. Now, whenever Chaudhry Sahib gets the chance, he points out how corrupt politicians are. But what's hard to understand is that the corruption is happening right under your nose. Because of you, with your cooperation, you are enabling this corruption. So in that case, aren't you the biggest corrupt person? Because if it weren't for you, Imran Khan actually held several of these people accountable. But unfortunately, you brought them back into government. You made deals with them. So you never let anyone be punished. That means you are the driving force behind all this. But when the time comes, you'll quietly slip away and all these things will be blamed on others. As I told you, Jahangir Tareen Sahib is currently very directly connected and has very good relations with the current army chief and other influential people. So whatever is happening, you can't say that he doesn't have the support of those officers or officials. Moving on to the third news item, we've already told you about Bajaur, but let me quickly share a couple of things. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, on one hand, there's an operation going on in Bajaur where, as we mentioned, bodies are falling. On the other hand, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has allowed more land in Peshawar city to be transferred to the cantonment. Land that belonged to the civilian population or the government land owned by the civilian government, that's now been transferred, especially the most lucrative and expensive land in the city, possibly worth billions of rupees, has been given to the cantonment. Now, Regi, Yama and Thakalthis are 2 areas in Peshawar whose land has now been transferred to or given to the canton. I don't think any significant payment was made for this. And even if there was, it would have been for peanuts. This information was shared by Advocate Shahbaz Sahib with everyone, that on one hand there are operations happening in Peshawar, and on the other, Peshawar's land is being transferred to the cantonment. The next and final news item I want to present to you is that the situation in Punjab has deteriorated significantly due to fake police encounters. Yes, journalist Ubaid Bhatti has shared this. He emphatically stated that the entire socio-political and legal scenario in Punjab has undergone a profound and complete transformation, shifting dramatically from its previous state. To illustrate this critical point, he recounted a deeply disturbing and poignant story about a woman whose husband was arbitrarily picked up and detained by authorities. Following his apprehension, he was subsequently implicated and formally booked in a fabricated case within Sahiwal. Overwhelmed with profound fear and a desperate sense of urgency, the woman immediately and courageously approached the esteemed Lahore High Court, her heart heavy with the terrifying apprehension that her beloved husband might tragically be killed in a staged police encounter, a common and brutal tactic. Regrettably, the Chief Justice of the Lahore High Court, despite the gravity of her plea and the clear danger, callously ignored her heartfelt entreaty and summarily rejected her application, offering no recourse or protection. However, in a stark contrast of judicial integrity, the local court in Sahiwal, after a thorough review of the evidence, unequivocally declared that the police had wrongfully and maliciously implicated him in the case and consequently honorably acquitted him, restoring his dignity and freedom. This harrowing incident serves as irrefutable and clear evidence that systematic targeted killings are being ruthlessly carried out across the region, with innocent individuals being forcibly taken out of jails and lockups only to be brutally killed extrajudicially or outside the established framework of the law, in flagrant disregard for human rights and due process. This is a living, tangible, and profoundly real example presented before you are stark testament to the pervasive injustice, even though his devoted wife went to the highest judicial authority, the High Court, to desperately save him. Even the Chief Justice of the High Court did not lend an ear to her desperate cries for justice and protection. Despite this initial setback, the lower court, recognizing the injustice, discharged him from the fabricated charges. Yet, in a cruel twist of fate and a blatant act of persecution, the authorities immediately filed a new, equally baseless case against him, and with chilling precision, the very next day, on that fateful day, he was brutally killed in a meticulously orchestrated and fake police encounter, extinguishing his life and any hope for true justice. Everyone knew this was going to happen, even his wife knew what they would do. Despite everyone knowing, no one could stop the CTD. Now, when someone accused of sexual assault or some other crime is killed in a police encounter, people are often very pleased, saying, look, justice was served immediately, this is great. But you don't consider that if this practice starts, then tomorrow these people will use the police in the same way against their personal enemies. Or, for that matter, anyone with money could have any poor person killed by bribing the police. When this season of fake police encounters begins, it will become a common practice, or this new practice will be accepted. This is a very troubling situation, what is happening right now. In Punjab, horrifying stories are emerging from these fake police encounters, in which many people are being killed day after day. Moving on, let's bring you the next news. Upon retirement, every judge gets two plots. Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry said that he would not take the second plot. He promoted honesty and said he didn't want the second plot. After that, he retired. After retirement, he remembered that he should have taken that plot. Why did he leave it? He said, I never gave it in writing that I wouldn't take the second plot. I only said it verbally. Just give me my second plot. So I think those 2,000 electricity units on the bill were probably also his doing.